All right, guys, we're going to open it up. I'm going to kick us off here with some toasts, and then I'm going to put the mic down. And anybody who wants to come up and say a few words about Banyon and Casey are more than welcome to. First and foremost, my name is Adam Hayden, and I'm the best man. Or as I mistakenly said once, the man of honor. And Casey and friends have given me grief for a long time about it. Before I get started, I want to say a couple of quick thank yous. First, thank you to the Heralds, Tammy, Joe, Banyon, for tonight. It's been so much fun. We're going to continue to have a lot of fun, so thank you guys. Also want to say thank you to the Beamises. Thank you for hosting us here in Birmingham. Last night was great, and I know tomorrow is something that we've been anticipating for a long time, so thank you guys. Thank you guys. So I met Banyon for the first time in high school in the kitchen at Chick-fil-A. We were two young, strapping Chick-fil-A prodigies. We actually worked together at Chick-fil-A for almost 5.5, 6 years. And for some reason, the management there decided to give us way too much responsibility. I remember on specific occasions, they allowed Banyon and I, as well as both my brothers, to close down the stores all alone until they realized that was just a really bad idea. We used to blare Dirty Govs in the kitchen. We'd eat all of the nuggets and fries. We'd make milkshakes for ourselves and take home all of the leftover Chick-fil-A. It was a blast, but it was also extremely short-lived. So going into college, Banyon and I remained really close. We lived down the street from each other. We went on many trips together. We had several classes together. After college, Banyon moved up to New York. I spent several long weekends up in New York with he and Jared on the Upper East Side, kind of exploring the city. One weekend, we actually went down to Miami, and we didn't realize that it was actually Easter weekend, and I know my mom was really excited about that. And then finally, we convinced Banyon to move back to Atlanta, where he moved into 31 with Clark and I. Banyon and I shared a bathroom and ate Chick-fil-A and Willie's for about a year straight. And then Banyon got up and moved to Nashville, met Casey, and we're here tonight. I kind of tell all you guys this because Banyon and I have had a lot of life experiences together. And when you've spent so much time with someone and have that much life experience, you kind of get to get some observations about someone, some themes, if you will, that are a little bit reoccurring. So I would want to share a couple of them with you guys here tonight. First, Banyon is the hardest worker that I've ever met. And I don't just say that because because it's his wedding weekend. He really is. Second is Banyon cannot get up in the morning to save his life. I've heard the man literally snooze his alarm for 2.5 hours at one point. And on one occasion, or several occasions, he actually had to buy a physical alarm clock, tape it to the ceiling in the back corner of his room in order to make a meeting, so he'd have to get out of bed and jump up and take it off of the ceiling. I mean, it was incredible. Next is Banyon is liable to break out in a Luke Bryan song at any point of the day. And for Halloween one year, he actually dressed up as Luke Bryan. Mind you, the costume is not much different than his normal outfit, other than he just ran around all night saying, "Hey y'all, it's Luke Bryan." Next, and this one I think I know has changed, but when we lived together, he was prone to disappear for weeks on end to remote areas of the world with his location off, and come back not being able to talk about anything that he saw, did, or heard. And so needless to say, a lot of our friends thought that he was part of the CIA, and some of them still do believe that you're part of the CIA. And lastly, I believe that Banyon's average lifespan for a new car is about 1.5 years until someone totals it. Yeah. And these are all very real and true observations about Banyon. They really are. But I was kind of thinking about tonight and what I wanted to say. I really wanted to talk about who Banyon is as a man and about his character. So I started jotting down kind of some adjectives, maybe some one-word descriptors about who Banyon is. And I actually talked to a lot of his really close friends, some of the guys here in this room, saying, "Hey, give me some one-word descriptors, some adjectives to describe Banyon." And wrote down a list. And what was actually really cool was a lot of these adjectives were the same. They're crossover. Everybody kind of said the same thing about him. So I'll read out this list to you guys real quick. Loyal, dependable, reliable, hardworking, determined, humble, stealthy, dedicated, peckerhead, thoughtful, selfless, and resourceful. I won't snitch on who called you a peckerhead. You can figure that one out. But Banyon, what I love is I think that this list encapsulates who you are so well. I kind of want to go back and touch on two of the themes that came over from everybody over and over again that really just kind of stand out to the man that you are. And the first one is hardworking and determined. Living together and knowing you for so long, I've seen you work to the wee hours of the morning, time and time again. I've seen you work weekends. And all this is because of this sense of excellence, determination, and curiosity that you have. But what I've loved to see even more is over the past year or so, kind of as the time-consuming aspect of your work has shrunk to an extent, you've really pursued and prioritized relationships with your friends, your family, Casey, and most importantly with the Lord, with that same determination and curiosity. And it's been so cool to see you grow and mature over the past few years and in the man that you are, but also in your faith and in the way that you love people and the way that you treat people. It's been a huge encouragement to me, and I know it's been a huge encouragement to all the guys around you. So the next thing that I want to talk on, and this was actually the top of the list of every single guy that I talked to, and it's the aspect of loyalty, dependability, and reliability. And Banyon, this is so true to who you are. You are fiercely loyal to those in your corner. You can be counted on in any circumstance, and you love those around you so extremely well. And I've seen this played out in my life time and time again in the way that you encourage me, in the way you challenge me, and in the way that you push me to be a better man. And what's cool is I've seen that in your relationship with Casey, in the way that you love her, and the way that you're dependable, and the way that you provide for her and just love her so well. And I'm so excited to see how that plays out over and over the years. A few months back, I heard a men's speaker. It was actually a hang time at Ben's dad's house. And he talked about this idea of your 3 a.m. friends. And the basic premise of this idea is find yourself a guy or guys in your life that you know that you can count on if you're in a situation or circumstance that you need to get out of. You can pick up the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning and call them, and you can trust that they will lead you to where you need to go. And Banyon, that is exactly who you are in my life. You are my 3 a.m. friend. And I'm so appreciative and thankful for that. Your brother, your best friend, you're part of my family, as it's evident with both of my brothers here tonight, as well as my parents. And I'm so proud of you, so thankful for you, and so thankful that you've met a woman like Casey. And Casey, I didn't forget about you. It truly has been a joy to get to know you over the past 2 years. You're so fun, you're sassy, you're spunky, but you're so solid in your faith, you're so smart, and you've really set a very high bar, and I thank you for that. What's been really cool to see is Banyon's traveled around. He's lived in place to place to place. He's been all over the place. But seeing him with you, he has this joy, this contentment, and really this just sense of home that I have not seen in him since I've known him. And it's just a huge blessing for me to see that. And I'll let you in on just like a little secret, and then I promise I'll wrap this up. But a few years back, I don't remember the exact situation or circumstance, but Banyon and I were at 31, and I think we were frustrated about some relationship or something. And we just started praying together. And I remember specifically praying for Banyon that the Lord would build him and grow him into the man that is ready for a woman to come alongside that he can lead. And then we specifically started praying about his future wife, and that the Lord would prepare her for Banyon. The Lord would grow her into the woman that's ready for Banyon. And it's so cool standing here right now, seeing just the answers to all of those prayers, and just seeing how much the Lord gives so much more abundantly than we could ever ask or imagine. I'm so excited to stand by you guys tomorrow. Not just tomorrow, but obviously for the rest of our lives. So with that, cheers. Dan and Casey.
Okay, now. Hey everyone, for those of you who have never met me, I'm Kelly, Casey's younger sister. We're so thankful each of you are here and to be a part of this weekend. As Casey's sister, I guess it's quite expected that Rainey and I would serve as her maids of honor, but it's truly an honor to stand by your side. Memory lane is too long to go down, but you've been my best friend since day one, and Mom has every picture to document it. Our childhood was seriously one for the books. Most of the memories consist of the 4 Bemis kids, Maggie, Peyton, Josie, and the rest of the Liberty Park gang, playing outside up until sundown. Looking back, those are for real the glory days. But sharing our adult life is the greatest treasure of all. This season started as we got to spend 3 years together at Ole Miss, and it's even more evident now. You truly are my go-to person, my confidant, role model, and best friend. I love how I can call you in the middle of the day. I know you're always teaching, but you always answer my calls. Ready to laugh, give me advice, or help me with whatever I need. You're the happiest person I know, and your joy clearly comes from the Lord, and it's noticed by everyone. Casey is the type of sister everyone wishes they had. For as long as I can remember, you've been my voice of reason and biggest encourager, and above all, you've been the greatest friend. You're the first person I call with good news or bad, or someone when I just need advice or a listening ear. I look up to you in everything you do, even though I'm a foot taller than you. I'm so blessed as I realize the relationship you and I share is extremely rare, and I seriously don't know what I would do without you. You're fiercely loyal, and we've been through every high and low together, and there's no one else I'd rather go through life with as my best friend. Sisters are something special, but I'd be remiss in not mentioning Troy, who's the best brother in the world. The 4 of us have a very special bond. Now enter Banyon. I heard about you long before I got to actually meet you. Casey would FaceTime me, telling me about this guy she met named Banyon, and they seemed pretty serious. One weekend, Casey and our cousin Emma came to visit me up in New York, and Casey kept talking about Banyon from Atlanta. She went on and on. We were walking around the city looking for a restaurant, and Casey jumped at the opportunity to text Banyon. Of course, Banyon came up with the idea for us to go to Hotel Chantel, and it was the highlight of the weekend. Banyon, you embody all the characteristics of an honorable spouse, and you've set an incredible example to Troy, Rainey, and I. You've certainly met every standard and expectation, and we couldn't think of a better fit for Casey. To be honest, when Casey told us you were an only child, we were a little worried you might think our family was crazy. But we're so thankful you embraced us and stayed. You immediately invested yourself in my life, and little did I know you were doing the same with each of us. Before long, you felt a part of the family, and we weren't around. It was noticeably that you were missing. You signed up to be Casey's emotional support, but I doubt you realized that the Bemis girls are a package deal. I remember one time I was watching my favorite Hallmark dog movie, and I, of course, start crying and run downstairs to the kitchen, thinking I'm going to find my mom, and Banyon's standing there. It just sees me sobbing and thinks, he's like, what is going on? You quickly learned I don't hold back my tears. You've really been there for me through it all my breakdowns, studying for the CPA, computer setups, Excel tutorials, and so much more. I know I can always count on you. I once even called you at midnight so you could help me fix the running toilet in my bathroom. I joke with Casey that I now call Banyon more than I call her. I've lived 24 years with the greatest family, and I can say 100% I never knew I needed an older brother. But now that I have you in my life, I can't imagine it without you. Casey and Banyon, I love you more than words could ever. I love you more than words could ever say. Cheers to the Herald and the life in a lifetime of happiness.
who's next.
Hey everybody. I'm not very good at public speaking, so bear with me. All right, Casey, I've always looked up to you as an example, but most importantly, you lead by example. Growing up, I always looked to you as another leader in my life. Because you're my oldest sister, sometimes that led to disagreements, and we wouldn't see eye to eye on everything. But you continually proved how good of a sister you were because you would never hang on to those disagreements. You forgive easy and have a gentle spirit. You don't live in the past and wrestle with things that have wronged you. I try to follow you this every day in life because that is a great characteristic that you have. One of my favorite memories of us was when we were in Haiti. I always knew you worked well with children and had an even bigger calling to work with children. And when you went to Ole Miss and you wanted to go into elementary ed and be a teacher, I thought that was the perfect fit. I realized that these kids would be perfect for you and you would be perfect for them. How you led as an example of me growing up, you would lead these kids. And these kids would be under the wings of my big sister. I could never be a teacher. I don't have the patience for it, but you definitely do, and I've always admired that about you. Paving your own way to Ole Miss, that has been, I think, probably the most, maybe life-changing for our family. I think it's huge because everyone goes to Alabama or Auburn, and Casey just blazed her own trail. She went to Ole Miss not knowing a soul, and I've always admired that about you because I'm all about that, like doing your own thing, going out on a limb. That's awesome. And seeing all the friends you made, I realized that I could do that too. And so thank you for that. I can't imagine what life would be like if you didn't do that and take that initial step. And I'm really glad you did. Casey, you're a blessing to everyone that knows you, and I'm happy for you and your big day. But Banyon, growing up in a family with 3 sisters, I always felt left out in a sense. It's hard to describe unless you've done it. I really don't know how to describe it. But I've always wanted a brother, and having 3 sisters and always wanting a brother it's been really hard, but more specifically, I wanted an older brother, not someone to learn from and be hard on me, but for the right reasons to help me. And Banyon, that is you. I know we haven't known each other for long, but I know I can come to you with anything. This is a genuine friendship, and it took me by complete surprise. I'm sorry. I'm not good at public speaking. Anyone that is interested or nonetheless dating my sister immediately makes me somewhat defensive, and I was skeptical of you at first. First time we met was at the beach, and I was immediately mad because me and Tulu had been dating for 3 years at this point, and I had never met Banyon, and the first time I meet him, he's coming on a family beach trip. And so I was immediately mad. I was like, this is not fair. I was like, I hate this kid already. But I'm so happy you came because over the course of that week and getting to know you and seeing how you mesh with our family, I realized how stupid that was, that I could even be mad at you. You were a perfect fit with our family. It took no effort. I mean, you just fit right in. And then quarantine happened, and you spent 3 straight months with us, and it just worked perfectly. I mean, all of us love you, and it honestly just couldn't have worked out better. The lengths you went to help me with applying for jobs, preparing for interviews, and answering my million questions that were so stupid about literally anything professional. You were always there for me, and you were always willing to help whenever I asked. You're so much more than a brother-in-law now. You're one of my best friends. And I can't think of anyone more perfect for Casey. You make her truly happy, and welcome to the fam.
Okay, hey everyone, I'm Rainey. I'm Casey's youngest sister, if you don't know me. Thank you so much all for being here this weekend. It seriously means so much. Growing up as the youngest and Casey being the oldest, I would say we had a different relationship than I did with Kelly and Troy. Casey took the role of being the oldest child very seriously, very seriously. I just remember we would take many New York trips when we were younger, and our parents one time decided to let us walk to this pizza place by ourselves, and Casey would not let go of my hand. And I thought we were so cool for being in New York by ourselves and trying to leave her grip, and she literally would not let go. And I know that's such a small example, but literally Casey is very protective. And we've been by each other's side as we shared a bathroom since birth, and our doors have always been open to each other day and night. But when you left for Ole Miss, I was in the 6th grade, and it was a very weird transition as Kelly had to step up to being the oldest. I lived for when you would come home and surprise me in the carpool line when I was expecting Mom. We were always close. However, my favorite season was when Casey was home for 2 years after Ole Miss. And I know this probably wasn't your most favorite time in life, but our relationship grew in so many ways. From Tuesday to every Sunday night to workouts at Lifetimes right after school, we were roomies again, and I always cherish the 2 years I had you at home. Casey, you've always been a very influential person in my life, and anyone who knows you is aware of how much of a role model you are. You have the biggest heart, and the joy of the Lord is beyond evident in your life. I have never met someone so enthusiastic about life. You always have a smile on your face and can find you laughing about anything and everything. Who knew mentioning the word chocolate can make someone laugh so hard they're about to throw up? And your commentary during movies is literally unbeatable. You're easy to love, and to be loved by you is a blessing. You bring out the best qualities in people and lighten the mood in every situation. I don't view you as another mother figure to me anymore, but instead someone who always has my back and best interests at heart. Most anyone who knows our family is aware of how close the 4 of us are, and I never realized how rare that actually is. I'll never take for granted the relationship I have with you, and cannot express how grateful I am to have you as an older sister and best friend. Banyon, I was thinking back to the first time I met you, and I cannot help but laugh. I had no clue Banyon was staying with us for the weekend. I got home around 11:30 at night, and Casey told me she wanted to introduce me to someone. So we went out in the hall, and Banyon shook my hand and immediately turned around and sprinted down the hallway. And Casey and I had no clue what was going on, and Banyon returned a while back and learned he had food poisoning and was very sick. What a way to meet the family, Banyon. I'm just kidding. But you've taught me many things about what to look for in a relationship, but the quality that has stood out the most to me is the way you've pursued Casey through a long-distance dating and engaged season. I know this wasn't easy, but you put in a constant effort, and it did not go unnoticed by anyone in our family. In the past year, you've become an irreplaceable member of our family, from beach trips and all of quarantine, and the craziness of our family from day-to-day lives. But I'm most grateful for how effortlessly you've become involved in each of our lives. Your work ethic is so evident, and despite how busy you are, anytime I need a professional letter written, you're my guy. You were there when I woke up from emergency surgery with flowers in hand. You immediately flew to Omaha when our grandfather passed away. I'm not sure you're even aware of how much an older brother you've become, but you've taken on the role of that and so much more. I know I can speak on behalf of Kelly and Troy and I, but you're 100% the person Casey's been waiting on, and we can't be more ready to welcome you into the family. So cheers to the future Heralds and all that's to come. I love you both so much.
can like hear my footsteps. Hi everyone, I am Josie Slaughter, and I affectionately will call myself the fifth Bemis. I met the Bemises when I was 5, when they moved in 3 doors up the street from me, and we have been together ever since. And I have something written, and I'm still going to read it, but I feel like I cannot say better anything that Kelly, Troy, and Rainey have just said, because everything that they have experienced with Casey has been my experience, and she has been the big sister that I never had, and it's just beyond me that the Lord put someone in my life when I was 5 who would influence my life in ways that I could never even imagine, one of which was where I ended up going to college, which is just a huge choice. And because of Casey paving the way, like Troy said, we all ended up there, and I gained friends and relationship and growth that I never would have anywhere else. And that's all because Case is amazing, and it's just like, no, I'm going to go somewhere where I don't know anyone, and I'm going to thrive. And she did, which is just so Casey. But back to what I was going to write. What I have, throughout life, as all the siblings said, there have been times where I have called you in tears, like now, and there have been times where, we have just shared laughs where it was just we were crying, laughing, and just countless of those. But no matter what the situation was, you always brought so much joy and so much life into everything. And you, like Kelly said, you're one of the most joyful people, which is truly of the Lord, because we know that's only where it comes from. And it's just phenomenal. And you have worked tirelessly for me in every way to give me every opportunity, and even in times where I drove you crazy like Rush, but we won't talk about that, and it all ended up well in the end. And you have just been such an amazing example for each of us in your work ethic and your passionate pursuit of the Lord's heart and the way that you serve others. We could not have had a better role model. I could not have had a better role model as my big sister. And it's truly been the biggest honor to walk by you for so many years in life, nearly 20, which is just insane at our age to be able to say that we've had someone in our life for that long who's been family. And it's just been the biggest joy. And thank you for that. And thank you for being just so loving and patient with me all these years, and being Mama Case, our other mother, and just being the best role model. And Banyon. So the first time I really got to know Banyon was in October of last year. And I had just decided I was moving to Atlanta, and had met Banyon once at this point, like did not know Banyon. And I reached out through Casey to Banyon and was like, hey, I need to know places to go live, figure out the whole thing. And immediately he was on it and was like, so I expect you at the Bemis' house to come meet with me. And then spent 2 hours going through life in Atlanta with me, and where to live, where is safe, which is, if you know the Slaughter family, that's safety first. And it just was amazing that you spent all this time with someone that you hardly knew at that point, and ended up giving me the biggest blessing in my roommate, and that you were so intentional. And now at this point, like just as Casey is a big sister to me, you are a big brother. And it's just so, I can't even explain to you what it means as a friend to Casey to watch you pursue her so well, and to love her so well, and to see how the Lord truly crafted the two of you for one another, and that he has put you together because you can spread his kingdom better together. And that is so powerful, what you're walking into and the point of it. And that the Bible is the entire story is of marriage, Christ, and the church, and y'all are about to walk into the physical representation of that. And it's going to be so beautiful to see y'all do that, because you both love the Lord so passionately and are just going to bring more people to Christ and point more people to Christ through your union, which I am just so thrilled about. I'm also really thrilled to have another only child in the Bemis Slaughter clan. That's really great. But seriously, it's just a privilege to do life with both of you, and I'm so thankful for you. And I can't wait for countless memories, countless holidays, and all the others spent with the both of you. So cheers to y'all and your just amazing marriage. I'm so thankful for you.
I didn't know this was going to take place. Kind of did, but certainly didn't prepare anything. But I just wanted to say, as parents, I mean, how can you not be so proud? I mean, that's a blessing. I love you, both of you.
Hey y'all, I'm Maggie, for those who do not know me, and I have known Casey for like 20 years, just about. She is practically a sister to me, and we did everything together growing up, playing Easter House, Farm. It was so much fun. Some of my favorite memories together is with the Bemis family and Casey. We both end up going to Ole Miss, and I will say this, I kind of take a lot of credit for that. I took her to her first Ole Miss game, and she hated it, but look where we are now. So anyway, so I'm just so thankful for you, Casey, and I love you so much. And Banyon, you are getting such a great wife. You are so lucky, so I love you.
Is it still on? Yeah, still on. Good evening. My name's Kevin Slaughter. This is my bride back here, Corinna. And that was my little girl, Josie. I want to start tonight by, we moved here from Dallas in April of 2001 and moved into Liberty Park. And about 2 weeks after we moved into town, the Bemises moved into town, 3 doors down, as Josie had said. And my first memory of meeting the kids was, you know how moms are, the two of them connected somehow. And so all I know is Corinna says, hey, the new kids up the block are coming down and want to come see Josie, meet Josie. And so here they come bebopping down. Now, a little background on us, we hunt a little bit. And so we got a few mounts that we have around the house and that kind of thing. So in come the kids, 3 of them. Rainey, you were still on the way. But in comes the master mama, Casey, herding in the 2 little ones. And they come down in, and Josie plays with them for a little while and all, and then, off they go back up to the house. So as I hear the story from Corinna later, the kids go running back up to the house, and Barb says, hey, how did it go? And they said, great. And she said, y'all have fun? Yeah. I said, the Slaughters, they've got a lot of animals, but they're all killed. And from that point, we connected, and our families just have had a special, special relationship. And I want to start by saying to Frank and Barb, well done. And Frank, to you, you have been a role model as a dad, as a husband, and a great Christian role model as a husband to your daughters of what a husband ought to be, a leader in his home, a leader in his faith, and pointing your family to the Lord. The way you've loved Barb, the way you've loved Frank over the years, the example that you all have set for your precious kids. And so it's because of you, Frank, being the dad that you have been, showing Casey what a husband ought to be, the man that she ought to be looking for. And that's the reason that she's picked the guy that rumor has they kind of call him Little Frank. And so just because of the fact that of the man that you are, and Banyon, the man that you are. So well done. Casey, as a dad, Josie said a lot of what I want to say, but you don't know how much it means to a dad to have a older girl be willing to step in to your daughter's life, to be the friend that you've been, to be the confidant that you've been, to love her, to be there when she's hurting, to be there when she needs a friend. And it just shows your heart and the lady that you are. And to listen to the stories, the impact that you've had on your siblings, which is, quite frankly, that's not necessarily normal, but it's because of who you are and the way that you herded them all along when y'all were all little ones, but you always had them under control and you were always watching over them because that's who you are and that's who your heart is. And obviously that's all from the Lord and Him living through you and reflecting through you, using you to have an impact on people. And so as a dad, I just say thank you. Banyon, I heard these stories about this guy that had infiltrated the Bemis family and that Casey was interested in. And I remember meeting you the first time and immediately felt a connection with you that was just unusual. And then I started hearing the stories of how you were connecting with all the family. And then, again, as Josie said, all of a sudden you're stepping into my daughter's life. And when Dad is not necessarily real happy that his daughter's going off to Atlanta, and as Josie said, it's safety first, and I'm thinking, what the heck is she doing going to Atlanta? But you stepped in to say, Josie, I've got you back, and I want to help you navigate that. And to be willing to invest in Josie, to spend the time that you have, the relationship that the two of you guys have got, it's very unique and just shows your heart and your concern for people in general. You're helping her find the roommate, help her figure out where to go, where not to go. But I've just heard the stories of the way you have impacted every one of the Bemises, the way you have invested into even Knucklehead Troy and KB and Rainey, the relationship the two of you guys have got. to come over during this COVID stuff some and quarantine time and just see you, in the intentionality that you have in reaching out to the family. But to see the way you are about Casey is really special. And you can just see your intentionality, you can see your love for her. Casey, I've really seen you in a different light since you guys met than the last few years. And it's like just you have come out, and it's just been you and being free to be the young lady that God's created you to be. And Banyon, that's because of you and your heart for her, the love that you have for her, and that she feels she's in a safe place. And that's just special. I want to tell you too, and I don't want to say, I'm proud of you for the way you are reaching out to older men in an intentional way to try to seek wisdom, to be it wisdom or just, from the stories from the school of hard knocks and experiences, and thinking about it and being intentional of what's the path going forward, what's God going to have, what do I need to be preparing for, and realizing that you don't have all the answers yet, and none of us did 30 years ago when Corinna and I were at this point. But you're wise enough to want to seek godly men to visit and talk about life, to be able to take care of your bride and prepare the path for you guys going forward. And so I love you both. I am thrilled to death for you both. Banyon, I'm, just as a dad, there's nothing more I could ask for Josie, or that I know that Frank and Barb could ask for Casey, than a godly man who loves her the way you do. So love you both, wish you both the best, and we'll be praying for you.
I'm pretty smooth. Good evening, everyone. And for those of you who haven't met me, I'm Frank Bemis, and I'm Casey Bemis's dad, along here with my beautiful wife, Barbara. And we want to give just a heartfelt thank you to the Harrell family for putting on this evening, and it's been a great occasion, and with great people. Friends and family, we thank you for the efforts to be here. It's hard to believe that the day is finally here, and our firstborn is getting married. Wow, this is it's happening. All of you in this room have made an impact in Casey and Banyon's life, and there is truth to the saying, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future." And it's very evident by this crowd that you have chosen well. Both have solid foundations. We thank you, Tammy and Joe. And you both have great friends. Keep seeking relationships, just like Mr. Slaughter was saying, especially with those that are one or two steps ahead of you. They know where the potholes in life are, and they can help you avoid them. People love to help other people. It's the Lord's design. Casey has always had an incredible zest for life. Her smile is famous, and it's always present. She lights up the room with laughter, and it's good for the soul, and Casey knows it. She chooses to be happy and impacts the people around her. She exudes joy, and she's radiant. A woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Casey, you are a blessing, and you pass that on to others. Casey is our firstborn. She's the leader, as you've heard many times here. And she is also a very concrete thinker. Okay? And another one of these leader stories is Barb and I were leaving to go to lunch, and we decided she was going to stay home and be able to babysit for like the first time. So that, Barb, she had strict instructions that went over multiple times, and it was, do not answer the door. I don't care who comes, even if you know them. So, unbeknownst, Nanny comes to the door, knocks on the door, her grandmother. Casey whips Kelly, Troy, and Rainey behind the sofa, and they're hiding from Grandma because she was told, don't answer the door. Sorry, Nanny. Oh, that is her. All right. And Casey is deeply committed in what she believes in. And this plays very well for you, Banyon, because when she says she loves you and she's committed to you, she means it. Now on to Banyon. This weekend, we gain a son. You have impressed us, Banyon. Not because your work ethic or what you have accomplished. We love that you have pursued Casey. You are honorable with a deep understanding of our Father's love and his purpose for your life and marriage. Your daily decisions reflect that understanding. Getting to know Banyon in the beginning was very sporadic because of him living in Atlanta. He was courting Casey on weekends and every chance he got. And then COVID hit, and he spent the quarantine with us, and he truly became part of our family. We instantly had another son, and all the things that it entailed. Lost wallets, lost keys, tons of laundry, massive food consumption. But it was great having him. Banyon, you approached Casey slowly and cautiously. Very wise of you. And Banyon is, to all those that you know him, he's considerate, he's thoughtful, he's logical, he's measured, yet he's funny and he's a good conversationalist. And Banyon, you don't try to take over a social setting, but nor do you hide in it either. You're just Banyon. You're comfortable and you're confident in your own skin. And you have become the professional personal consultant of the Bemis family. Your IT support, you're an Excel wizard for the whole Bemis family. I'm not sure how you have time for it, but he makes time for it. What we truly admire is Banyon's kindness and his gentleness with Casey. And they have the same lightheartedness and sense of humor, and we appreciate how he supports her and encourage Casey in her teaching and her career. All these things sound fantastic, but there's more. It's not all. Banyon is the true spiritual leader, and he seeks guidance from the Lord, and that's what matters most. I want you to look around this room, and there's many years of collective marriage here, Banyon and Casey, and it was earned. There were hard knocks along the way. It was tested, and they survived. We survived. Don't ever hesitate to reach out to family and friends for help. Storms come, but I have no doubt you will weather them faithfully. Banyon, you are the man of God whom we have prayed for Casey's entire life. You are the treasure, and we love you. Casey, you are lovely and motivated to pursue Jesus in all that you do, and all of you have honored him well. Your smile is radiant, but never before as radiant as it is when you were at Banyon's side. Your mom and I have tremendous peace walking into this weekend. We love you both very much. Cheers to the Harrells, and God bless them both.
Hello. Okay. Hi, my name is Sims, and I'm one of Casey's bridesmaids and college roommates. So I actually first met Casey when we were super young, so we don't really remember it. But it was when the Bemis family still lived in Memphis, and our paths first crossed at church at IPC. And then thankfully, we were reunited many years later once we both decided to go to Ole Miss, and then we both joined Chi-O. And since then, I've had the honor of being Casey's roommate, actually 4 different times. So it was 1 year, junior year in Club Corner, senior year when we lived in the shoebox in Chi-O together, 1 year in grad school, and then we've had one last hurrah these past few months being roommates after she moved to Nashville. So after all of these years of being Casey's roommate, I've learned many things about her. Like, for one, she loves her chocolate chips, as we all know. There's always a bag in her kitchen at all times. Number 2, she loves driving around with One Direction turned all the way up, and even if she doesn't know all of the lyrics, she will sing all of the words. Number 3, she always knows when to give you a pump-up speech when you need it the most. And most importantly, she is the most encouraging, joy-filled, and loyal friend I've had. Casey, I'm so thankful for you and our friendship. We've been through so much over the past 7 years, and I'm so grateful that we had each other to do life with and to learn and grow together. Thank you for sometimes pushing me out of my comfort zone when I needed it. I think we balance each other out pretty well. Thank you for always encouraging me in my faith, being a praying friend, and for always speaking the truth to me when I needed it the most. I love you so much. And Banyon, I could not think of a better husband for Casey. I will always remember the 4th of July in 2019 when I'd only met you once previously in person, and I didn't really know you that well, but you so graciously welcomed me into your home, and you, Casey, and I had the best 4th of July in Atlanta and have been the 3 amigos ever since. After that trip to Atlanta, I knew that y'all had something special, and then my dreams came true and both of you moved to Nashville. Yeah. I love being in Nashville with both of you and getting to see this season unfold for y'all. I'm so thankful that God brought y'all together. You are 2 of the best people that I know. You love each other and others so well, and I'm so thankful to have each of you in my life. I can't wait for many more fun brunches and outings to Edley's and Taco Mama in our future. I love you both so much. Cheers to the Heralds.
When the Bemuses come into your life, they are a force. And we're the Torrances, and I've got my baby daughter, Emma, and my wife. This is probably in the bathroom, for those of y'all that know Jamie. But thank y'all. I want to say like what Kevin said. Y'all are some kind of example as a family. And it's been such an encouragement to us. And I've had the honor. Casey poured into my baby daughter because Rainey was my 4th daughter. And when you're a parent and somebody pours into your child, that's special. And I want to thank you for that, the influence that you had on my baby daughter. And also, Casey and I spent the most bizarre day of my 54 days of on this earth at JH Ranch at a lake one day where you were the lifeguard. And the demons came over this lake, y'all. People started getting like maimed and bloodied and losing teeth, and a guy drowned almost, and Casey's out trying to say, was that a weird day or what? Weird day, so I appreciate you. But I had the honor of getting to spend 5 times sessions with Banyon and Casey. You opened up with me to be able to talk about this marriage day. And I know I need to be private and everything, but I did come home and tell Jamie, I said, my goodness, I like Banyon more. I mean, I liked you when I met you, and we're in the same industry and stuff. I liked you more, but the respect of those 5 or 6 hours that we spent together talking about serious stuff, God bless you, brother. This is a solid man of God, and you have got an amazing woman and family. But you're a man of character, and I appreciate you a lot. And Casey, you know I love you and appreciate you. One thing I got to say, I wasn't going to say this, never going to get to counsel again, but I feel like I have got to tell y'all what Banyon and Casey's biggest issue is going to be once they get married.
I do all these assessments and instruments, and they knew, like, what is he doing, graphing all this stuff? And, I say, okay, is it going to be their difference in finances? Maybe the way their philosophy of raising kids. Maybe their families of origin. Maybe conflict management. I did all this stuff to try to flesh this out. This is the truth, y'all. I've never had a situation like this, and I spent a lot of time with young married couples. Here's what it came out on after I did all the work. Their biggest issue, I need to share this with y'all, is going to be, y'all know what it is, talking a problem to death. That's their biggest issue in their marriage. So congratulations, because that is not a big issue, brother. Great job. So love y'all. Can't wait till tomorrow. Thank y'all for letting us be a part of this.
Love you.
Hello. Okay. Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm one of Casey's bridesmaids. I actually first met Casey. So on a Sunday we had all pledged Chi O together, and 2 days later we had an 80s themed party. So it was a party with another fraternity. It was a blast. And I asked this random girl to take a picture for me, of me and my friends. And the random girl was Casey. And I didn't know her at all. We were not friends. And I gave her my phone. And the background of my phone was a scene, a landscape from J.H. Ranch, where I had gone to camp about a month before. And I'd never met Casey or anything. And she takes the picture and she says, wait a second, this background, this is J.H. Ranch. Did you go there? And I said, I did. And as a freshman in college, I knew a lot of people at Ole Miss, but to instantly have someone that is grounded in their faith, like I knew Casey was instantly when you have someone that went to the same camp as you, it meant a ton. And I can honestly say Casey and I have been best friends ever since that day. We really have. We just immediately hit it off. Our first picture ever is on the slideshow of us, and we look like toddlers. We were so tiny in our 80s outfits. And anyway, I say that story to just say that Casey has been just an incredible picture of what it means to truly live out every single day, loving the Lord and following the Lord. And she's been an unbelievable influence in my life. And I'm not sure if you know that, but your faith, I look up to it in every single way. And Banyon, you are getting one of the best girls I know. I love both of you so much. So cheers to the Heralds.
Anybody? Oh, we have someone. Oh, Allie? Come on.
Hello, I'm Allison, one of Casey's bridesmaids. So some of you may not know this, but Banyon's proposal was actually not Casey's first proposal. So it was winter of 2013, and I was in Birmingham. We were both seniors in high school, and I had come in town for Birmingham to go to the Ole Miss Bowl game, and was hanging out with Casey. I'd met her for the first time and knew that she was interested in going to Ole Miss. And I think I just went into our room to get something out of my bag or something, and I came back and Casey was down on one knee and at the Bemis's old basement was on one knee and asked me to be her roommate for her freshman year at Ole Miss. And I was like, oh my gosh, this girl is proposing to me. I met her 24 hours ago, but yes, this is gonna be great. And anyway, I said yes, best yes ever. Second best yes, sorry, Will. Maybe the best yes, I don't know. But anyway, and we decided to be roommates at Ole Miss, and honestly, it was the best year ever, And thinking back on that year and what came after, I have to look at my phone. I can't look at Casey. Casey really has been a part of major points in my life. Obviously, freshman year for both of us was a really big transition. We're both really close to our families, and there were a lot of times during that year that I really don't know what I would have done without you, with pranks and career changes. I could have been a doctor, you could have been an accountant. I mean, a lot of stuff changed that year. Just a year when just a lot of stuff is thrown at you and there's a lot of change. Casey really was my constant, and just knowing that I could come back to my room and having such a just good, gracious, sweet, encouraging, amazing, the best friend ever girl to come back to was just a huge blessing, and I'm forever thankful for that. And then fast forward 4 years later, we had the privilege of living together again, so freshman year and then our grad school year, and just still during a year where we're making big career choices and choosing jobs and choosing cities of where we want to live and still having boy talks and things like that. Just having Casey there for that milestone year was just huge, and I'm really thankful that the Lord brought us back together for that last year, and it was really, really special. So Banyon, you're getting the greatest girl and the greatest roommate. She's unapologetically herself, and I've just always admired that. Just gonna say that. And then one thing that you mentioned, Banyon, in your video that we watched with The Bachelorette was that you love how loving and loyal Casey is. And so I thought that was great. Like, the first thing that your friend said about you was how loyal you was. And so to see that y'all share that characteristic really is just so special and so encouraging. And I'm so excited for both of you to be together. But yes, because Casey's so loyal. If you're fortunate to be one of her people, to be known and just to be loved by Casey, I think we can all agree you're truly just better for it. And so I'm just so excited for both of you. I love you both, and I'm so excited for tomorrow. So cheers to the Heralds.
This is probably the most nervous part of Banyon's weekend with me with a microphone. So I'll be brief, but I know that there's a group of us, of guys that are here and are going to get to stand next to Banyon tomorrow. And a lot of us have talked, as Adam mentioned, just about like, how would we describe Banyon? And I think that there's a lot of guys in here who just look up to Banyon. And I think that in our group of friends that all think of, high performers, role models, we get the opportunity to sit and talk to experienced men who have been successful or have, either seen potholes or have avoided potholes. Being able to have a friend like Banyon who leads by example, to your point earlier of he doesn't necessarily command a room socially or take over a room. It's just, there's an example. And, Banyon just is able to speak softly and kind of just lead by example. And it's this calming kind of leadership characteristic that Banyon has that's unique to almost any other friend that I have, where when he walks in, it's like, all right, where are we going? What are we doing? Banyon's got a plan. He knows how it's going to go. He's got every solution if a problem comes up. And so seeing Casey and knowing, that you've got somebody who can take care of you and will love you and be able to lead you very well, it's just encouraging for us. And to have a friend like Banyon and the impact he's had on me, as well as the other group of guys that are in this room that get to stand next to you tomorrow, is it's truly a blessing and truly an honor to be one of your friends and even being able to stand on stage next to you and get to support you and Casey. So I appreciate it.
We have one more taker.
I'll be brief. No, nothing bad. I didn't know Banyon all that well in college. We knew each other, but we really got closer afterward when he was living in Atlanta. And now I live in Nashville, and he has moved up to Nashville with me, which is great. But I think one of the words that you've heard about Banyon from almost everyone who's talked is how loyal he is. Adam gathered all those adjectives. I can also speak for the fact that he works with me, and I can vouch for the fact that he does not wake up very early. But loyalty was one of the most frequent adjectives that came up, and I just want you to know that it means a lot to me. I'm sorry to all the guys back there that I took him away from you, but having someone in Nashville that I can depend on. I didn't have that before you came up there. And it means a great deal to me to have such a close, loyal friend that I can depend on. And Casey, I don't remember when it was, but I just remember how soon after Banyon met you, he knew that he was going to marry you. I just remember it being notable. I was like, wow, this guy already knows exactly what he wants. And we talked about his plan to propose to you for months. And it was just, there was never a doubt. And so that's kind of all I have to say. I'm really excited to see y'all's relationship progress. See what God has in plan for y'all. So cheers to y'all.
Hey, I would like to say one thing. This is hereditary, because I listen to these stories and I think, my God, I was like that too. When I moved out of the house as a 18-year-old and got an apartment, I had a stereo system that I still own today. And it stayed in the living room, and I drug speaker wire cords to the bedroom, and I still have those two big Advent speakers. Y'all remember those? And I my mattress laid on the floor. I put one speaker to the left, one speaker to the right. I turned it up, and it was a powerful amp. Turned it up, set the timer. Had to be at work at 6:30. Set the timer at 5:30. The people downstairs complained. And then I was going to try to invent a bed that would lift up. This was in my dreams. Right behind the unit I was in was a window. Banyon knows where I'm going to do this. And I told him, I said, I wish to God I could invent something that the bed would lift up, the window would open, and the slide would take me straight to the pool. I still sleep till 9 o'clock. But I do find my keys. I love you, son.
Do we have any other takers? Oh, Emma Russell. I have time to dry my tears.
Hi, I'm Casey's cousin Emma. I'm going to talk about a couple of things that Kelly and Rainey already mentioned, so sorry if I'm repetitive. But okay, so I'm going to talk about the first time I heard about Banyon, and Kelly mentioned this, but in February 2019, Casey and I took an impromptu trip to meet up and visit Kelly when she was living in New York City. We both got to New York pretty late. I remember this very specifically, on a Friday night, and we were all starving, so we decided to go to Italy in downtown Manhattan for dinner. It was at this Italian restaurant on February 8th. I looked up an old picture. It was February 8th at like 10 o'clock at night that I first heard about Banyon. At first I was like, wait, that's like really weird. Like, isn't that Troy's friend? And she was like, no, that's Canyon. I was like, oh, sorry, okay, Canyon, got it. But then I wanted to see a picture and get all the details and everything like that. And I just remember at the end of the conversation, Casey saying like, I don't know why I haven't been dating. I'm gonna start dating, it's just so fun. And I was like, I've never had that experience, but I'm so glad it's so fun for you. But 9 months later, he was at our family Thanksgiving and has been at every family event since then. I usually only get to see the Beamises like once a year at Thanksgiving, but somehow in the past year I've seen Banyon 6 times. So I feel like I've gotten to know him pretty quickly, which is nice. He bought a plane ticket to Omaha, Nebraska, where I'm from, and got to meet our grandpa when he was very ill in the hospital. And then a week later, he bought another ticket to Omaha for our grandpa's funeral. I thought it might be really weird to have someone not in our family at an event like that, but it wasn't at all, because really it felt like he was already in the family. The next time we saw Banyon was a much happier occasion for Kelly and Rainey's graduation. The day after we had left for Kelly and left to go back from Birmingham, I got a FaceTime call from Banyon, and I was like, oh shoot, we're best friends, like Banyon's FaceTiming me. And he was calling to tell us face to face that he was gonna propose to Casey. And could we drive back for the next weekend? So yeah, but obviously we did for Casey and Banyon, and we're very happy we did. I don't think I've ever seen Casey happier, except for maybe today, honestly. Banyon, I couldn't be more excited to welcome you to our family. Thank you for making my cousin so happy.
Bridgie.
I don't have any paper like some of you do. I just sort of remembered a few stories when everyone was saying everything, and I really wanted to talk about it. So Casey's been in my life my whole life. I have 13 years. I remember coming in the old house. I've never been in that upstairs. I just remember Casey being like the most fun, and just like seeing the intense look at her eyes when we were playing Happy Family, like strategizing like who would be this name and who would be that name. Just like I could see her brain working on like the names and just like thinking about it. And just seeing her every Thanksgiving was so fun with like a big group of people and family I love. But then when Banyon came in the picture, I had no idea. I was the last to know. And so of course we were playing Big Happy Family because I wanted to. And so we were playing, and someone was Banyon. And I was like, why is there someone named Banyon? We don't even know Banyon. And then they're like, oh, no, we do. And I was confused because I didn't know any Banyon. And they're like, oh, she's dating someone named Banyon. And so I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I just like played the whole game and just listened through. And then finally, like, I don't even know how long after, I was sitting on the couch, you know, just listening, watching Hallmarks with Kelly because she wanted to, as you do. And then someone walks in and the dogs start barking. I'm like, ooh, dogs, so I'm gonna follow them. And so I walked around, and then I look, and there's like a person in the house. I'm like, hi, don't know you. And then Casey walked up and introduces me, and he's so nice, and he like immediately tried to get to know me, which that was very kind. And then just like very fun, and we had like a very thing. I went home, of course, and then eventually I came back, and just like we hung out the whole time, and then we left. And I was looking outside the car. I remember leaving like in my comfy pillow, and I looked out, and I was waving to Banyon, and he was looking at the ground, thinking really hard about something. And I think I know what it is now. It was the proposal. So we left, and then I was watching TV in her apartment, probably this one show I hadn't watched in a while. And then we get a FaceTime call from Banyon. I'm like, oh my goodness, we just left. That is so fun. And so I'm like, pick up. And she picks up the call, and she's like, hi, because he was late. And I immediately like looking over the couch, and he's like looking all like nervous and happy. And I'm like, hi, Banyon. And he's like, hi, I'm gonna propose. And we just start like freaking out, and then it's like a whole thing of like, are we going back? Are we not going back? And I was just like, we have to go back. We are going back. We're doing this. And so we drive back, and I see Banyon, he's like, oh yeah, we're back. And I just remember Casey walking in and never looking more happy in her life. And just raising her arm up with her ring and just showing everyone. And then being surprised we were back and just hugging us. And it was one of the best memories I've ever had. And I'm really thankful. Welcome, Banyon, to the family.
Clark. William Clark O'Kelly.
I'll be really quick, I swear.
I really wasn't gonna say much, but a lot of y'all have touched on a few things about Banyon, a couple of which really resonated, and the word family has come up a lot. It is a wedding weekend. We have to talk about family, and I think it's incredibly important. I didn't meet, unlike, there's a number of folks here who've known Banyon for a while, and then I'm in the group of folks who really met him like second semester of senior year. And I think back, it was spring break of my senior year, Banyon's senior year, and we had a pretty close group of friends that had been like real close all throughout college. Adam was in this crowd. We're going to spring break down in Miami, and all of a sudden, like a month before, we're like, hey, this guy's coming, his name's Banyon, which somebody already mentioned Canyon, which I just have to say, if I had a dime for the number of times I've heard Banyon introduce himself and say, it's like Canyon, but with a B, I'd probably be a millionaire at this point. Like, it is so many times. But we're all like murmuring amongst ourselves, like, okay, who's this guy? Like, who's Banyon? Like, he's going to this beach house with us. Like, I hope he's cool. All right, it's spring break senior year. This has, like, you can't just bring a random guy in. Nonetheless, I will never forget, in particular, that day when everybody went to like get lunch, do the margarita day, whatever it was, and it was like you and me just lost on the beach, watching the ships sail by, listening to Buffett for hours on end. Everybody else was, I don't even know where they were, but we're sitting out there guessing the value of each yacht that would sail by. And I was like, I think I like this guy. This is gonna be like, this could really become a great longtime friend of mine. And then spring break ends and we graduate, go our separate ways. Banyon goes to New York. I go back to this seemingly foreign city of Atlanta that we've discussed a time or two this evening. And I'm like, well, I'm probably never gonna see Atlanta or see Banyon again. And then January of like 2019 rolls around, and Banyon came back to Atlanta. And I should phrase it the other way, of Banyon just kind of starts showing up on our couch at 31 Peachtree Hills, where at the time it was Adam, myself, and Tyler Kavitas, another buddy of ours, was living there. And like, Banyon would come in town. Turns out he had moved back to Atlanta. He was taking a job in Atlanta. And it was just like month on it, like 1 or 2 months of like in and out on the couch. And we're like, Banyon's really like, he's making Atlanta the new home. And we were like, okay, it's kind of similar to the quarantine story. We're like, we're glad he's here and excited to see what's next. And at the end of it all, we were like, Banyon's kind of become part of the 31 family here. Like 31 was our street address, so we called the house, and we're like, we're just pumped that we've got a new guy here. Sure enough, Tyler moves on, gets married, and I truly was like receiving an answered prayer that I'd never even realized was that this guy we got to know senior year of like, well, who knows what type of friendship this could become, walks right back into our lives and was all of a sudden a close roommate of mine. And Adam and I had the privilege of getting to spend, I would say, some of our most formative young professional years, maybe really just like a year, living at 31 with Banyon. Banyon, you're the only person to ever, or you're the person who taught me that Johnny's Hideaway serves spaghetti. I didn't realize that you could even get food there. You've taught me a lot about the great city of Atlanta and your short time living there. But it goes back to what I said at the beginning. I really think it goes so much to talk about Banyon and his ability to build relationships, very much like the relationships you have in a family. And for me personally, I think it's really impressive because he did it in such a short period of time. I've got to know him at the end of my college journey, and then didn't see him for a couple years, and then all of a sudden he's back in my life, and now here I am at his wedding, getting the opportunity to recognize how close of a friend he's become. And I truly am grateful for that relationship, and in particular for you and Casey, like seeing what type of a seemingly family member Banyon has become of mine. I can't even imagine what that's going to look like for you two for the rest of y'all's life. So when it comes to family, I'm really excited to see what comes between the two of y'all, and just pumped to be here for y'all this weekend. But to hark the heralds.
Kate.
I had to come up here. I'm gonna make it short and quick. So my name's Kate Potts. Woo! Inside joke, okay. But I'm a bridesmaid. And Casey and I both went to Ole Miss, but we actually didn't know each other our entire freshman year. And I was actually praying from my freshman year, second semester until that summer for a friend group, some Christian, godly women, praying really hard for that because I hadn't found it yet. Randomly decided to apply to Camp DeSoto, ended up being a counselor that summer. Didn't know a soul. That's where I met Casey. So Casey, you've been answered a prayer and such an influential person in my life that you have no idea. But so we met because we had 2 weeks of lifeguard training, which, you think 2 weeks basking in the sun. Well, a cold front came in, so it was more like trying to survive from hypothermia, but really built a lot of character, really brought us together, strong bonds were formed. So we come back to Ole Miss, we're really good friends, and I'm like, but are we still gonna be friends at Ole Miss? How close are we? How was that bond formed? Questioning. And immediately Casey's like, come over. We're hanging out immediately. She's getting me to meet all her friends, which end up being all of our friends of the whole group. And she was the one who invited me to live in Club Corner. So she was the only one I knew that lived there. And I'm sure you had to vouch for me. Trust me, guys, she's not a psychopath. She's cool. So all the other Club Corner girls didn't know me, but ended up being incredible, and we all ended up being best friends. So you truly have been super influential in my life. Other than Club Corner as my claim to fame, my other claim to fame was that I was at the brewery the night that y'all met with Kyle. So Kyle is my husband, and we were basically Casey's wing woman and man that night. And so she was like, listen, there's this guy someone wants me to meet. Could be this potential thing. But she didn't really know anybody else, kind of. So she was like, Kyle and I live in Atlanta. She was like, I need you to come, some stability here. So we're like, oh yeah, we'll be there. We'll get you out if it doesn't go well, So we go, and it was really great, but also Casey has been proposed once before by Ben Jackson in the back at the said brewery. So that was incredible. But I think that was just really great to meet Banyon. And I think you really get to know someone from their friends as well. And I was like, these are all great people. And then I've loved getting, now Casey and Banyon start to date. So now she gets to come to Atlanta a lot more to visit Banyon, get to stay on our couch, which was awesome. Slowly waking you up every night. Pretty great. That's our dog. But it was really great getting to know you, Banyon. And I love you guys, and I love how you lead Casey, Banyon. And I love, Franco said, you were cautious in your pursuit. And I agree, that is how it needs to be done with Casey Bemis. It needs to be a cautious pursuit. And you really pursued her perfectly, and you could not be more of a perfect match for her. And even though we have not officially converted you as an Ole Miss fan when the Georgia Bulldogs play, I'm still super thrilled to introduce you as being a head boy, another head boy into the Club Corner clan. So we love you. And Callie wants to say something.
Thanks, Kate. We've been wanting to get up here for you, Casey, but it seems like everyone wants to get up here and just talk about how much you two mean to us, so I'll make it short and sweet. The first time I met Casey, we were at a very awkward breakfast with our big sister and Kaio. We hardly knew each other, but I knew Casey as the girl that across the room had the biggest smile. I actually wasn't sure if we could have a conversation without her bursting into laughter because she was just so full of joy, and I was just so excited to meet her. And I think, everyone has said so many wonderful things about the both of you, but if you just take a look around the room and you can just see how much you really bring people together, and you too, Banyon. And just everyone's here for y'all, just like you brought Kate to us in Club Corner and just brought us one of the most wonderful years of college together. And you are one of the most fiercely loyal friends, just like you are with your family. You love them so well, and I can only imagine what a wonderful, compassionate, faithful wife you'll be. And so, Banyon, congratulations. You're getting one of the best, and I'm so happy for you guys.
This thing on? Yeah, it's on. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I'm liable to start crying at any second. And I think they need to wrap up. Mom, Dad, thank y'all. Love you so much. You guys have just been amazing, and I appreciate everything you've done. Dr. Bemis, Miss Barb, thank y'all. Seriously. You guys have just been awesome over the last year and a half. You've truly made me a member of your house in every way, and thank you for always keeping up with my wallet. And it's definitely been pointed out that I oversleep, and I do, and I'll start working on that next week. But as everyone said, I still get it done, even if I wake up at 9. The last thing I'll say is, Casey, I've spent a lot of my life working really hard with my head down for months and months at a time, and then I come to just seasons of reflection, where it's I have no idea what's been going on for the last 3 months, but I'm gonna stop and think and pray. And every time, just over the last decade, I've been just overwhelmed with how blessed I've been in life. I haven't expected to achieve any of what I have, and I say that with the most humble heart ever. But Casey, you've been the biggest blessing in my life, without question. And I've realized that more than you can imagine in the last 2 weeks as the wedding planning has slowed down, and I've just started to think. And it's going to take me a lifetime to thank you and repay you. Unfortunately, we have that. And I love you with all my heart, and I can't wait to see you coming down the aisle tomorrow. Thank y'all for being here. I love you guys. Do we have to leave? Kind of. Good night. What time's church tomorrow? What time does everyone need to be there? 4:30. See y'all there.